If you're waiting for a sign to get your prepper gaming gear, this is it. Let me show you what I grabbed before prices jump again. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another Prepper Pantry haul for you, and this one is packed with some exciting new finds that you're going to want to see. With everything going on in the world right now, there's one thing we can count on. Prices are going up. A lot of people think that prepping is just about surviving a big disaster, but it's so much more than that. It's about staying one step ahead of inflation and making smart choices before things get worse. Food, batteries, medications, these essentials are only getting more expensive, and stocking up now is one of the best investments you can make. If you've been paying attention to the news, you've probably seen the headlines. More tariffs are coming, supply chains are tightening again, and prices are already creeping up. This isn't just background noise. It directly affects the cost of the things that we rely on every single day. That's why prepping isn't just about being ready for a disaster or a grid down event. It's a smart way to protect your wallet and your family from the kind of slow-burning crises like inflation and supply shortages that we're watching unfold right now. The next crisis always seems to hit when we're least ready, and that's exactly why we stay prepared. Let's dive into this haul. Be sure to stay till the end to see some things you've probably never thought of, and one massive prep I couldn't even fit on the counter. Find out how to save some money too. Let's go. I'm going to start with this stuff right over here, and my first item is this canned butter. This is Red Feather Pure Creamery Butter, 12-ounce cans. Now this is one of the only, or maybe the only commercially canned butter item that I've ever seen. And it's pretty expensive usually. So when I saw this deal, I had a couple of friends from my Deals and Steals Facebook group point this out to me, and I had to grab some. It was a deal on the 6-pack. I will put the link down in the description box below. They also sell it as a single can or a 12-pack, but the best deal per can is on the 6-pack. I did check right before I started recording, and it is still on sale as of the time I'm recording this. It is a little bit spendy, but honestly, these are 12-ounce cans, and a typical stick of butter is 4 ounces, so this is like 3 sticks of butter in here. So honestly, it's a really good deal. And remember, when you're buying things that are shelf stable, you are paying for a lot of things. You're paying for the convenience, you're paying for the can that it's in, you're paying for the labor to can it and things like that. Some people can their own butter, but a lot of people aren't comfortable with that because it's not considered a safe practice. So if you don't want to can your own butter and you want to have shelf-stable butter, this is a great way to go. Of course, I have lots of butter powder, and that is a really, really great ingredient to have, but there's certain applications that it just doesn't work the same as actual butter. So I was really happy to get a few more cans of this. Next, I got this Life Straw. This is something, I don't know how new these are, but these were not on my radar until fairly recently. So we have lots of Life Straws, the typical Life Straw that you would see. This is a lot sleeker, a lot more sort of modern looking, and it's a lot more compact. It's longer, but it's thinner, and it comes with a case. And as far as I can tell, it does all the same filtration that the original Life Straws do. Now, my daughter is going on a trip with school pretty soon, and they are told they're not going to be able to drink the water. So she'll be buying bottled water, but this is going to be a backup for her, and it's something that's not going to take up a lot of space in her luggage. So I think for that same reason, this would be great for bug out bags for you to have in your EDC kit or to keep in your vehicle. You can see this is the case right here, and the straw fits right inside the case, and so it's going to be a nice compact little package, and it just is kind of a lot more aesthetically pleasing than the older Life Straws. So I was pretty excited about this. This was also on sale at the time that I grabbed it. Hopefully they still are, in case anyone's interested in these. Life Straws do have some kind of downsides. You have to drink directly through the straw, directly out of the water source. You can't filter it into something else, but you could always put the water into a bottle, a cup, a container, and then drink it from that with the straw. Next, I got this little medication holder. I thought this was really neat when I saw it. I have some things like this that are these types of containers, but this one is magnetic. So this comes, each of these cups is individual, and it's mounted onto this magnetic bar. And it comes with a magnetic strip, a self-adhesive magnetic strip that you can attach onto the back if you want to stick this whole thing onto, say, your refrigerator or something else that's magnetic. It also has these little things here that flip out to make like an easel stand, so you can stand it like that, so it can stand right on the counter. or you can stand it up like that or lay it flat. Now these are meant for medications like vitamins and things. I have something else that I use for my vitamins, and I don't think I need quite this large of a container, but what I think I might use this for is some powdered supplements that I take every day that I have several of them. So I like to put them all together into containers so that instead of getting out every canister every day, I can just take out one, do 1 or 2 weeks at a time, take out one little capsule at a time and dump it into my drink. So I believe these are going to be large enough for that. And I think they're going to be really great because I could either stick this whole thing onto the fridge or maybe even the water cooler near where I use it. And I also could stick each one of these individual little things on if I wanted to without even using the backing part. So I think there's a lot of options for this. It also came with a little bag, just the right size to slide this into. So if you're traveling with this, you can keep it all together, because if you just traveled with this, they might come apart. So I was excited to find this. Like I said, I have containers like this. I have lots of different medication holding things because I think they're great for organizing lots of things that you might use every day, but I've never seen one like this before. Next, I got this fan. This was sold as a solar fan, and when it came, I noticed that nowhere on the package did I see anything about solar anything. Nothing said anything about that. So I started to wonder if I got the wrong thing or something, but when I opened it up, it does have this solar panel here, which is a pretty decent size. But also, besides the fact that it didn't say anything on the box, it also said nothing on the instructions about charging it solarly. So I was a little bit confused. I did take this outside though. I walked outside with it, and as soon as I walked outside and it hit the sunlight, these lights started flashing. So it started charging. So it does charge solarly. That was in the late afternoon, so I didn't really get to see how long it would take to charge it with this size of a solar panel. It was about 3/4 charged already, like most things like this tend to come. So this does have the fan. It has a couple of different speeds for the fan. It's got, 25, 50, 75, and 100% high power, and that is giving a nice good breeze. It has lights on it that also have different brightness levels. And then it has a timer. So if you put the fan on, you have to have the fan on, and then you can set the amount of time. So it can go for 2 hours, for 4 hours, or 6 hours. And you can do that on any of the fan speeds. Right now, what it's showing after I set the fan to the speed I want, and then it goes to those other lights, it's showing how much battery is in here. This also can be charged with a charging cable from the wall if you don't have the solar capacity. I think that I would prefer to generally do it that way and then only use the solar panel if I really needed it in an emergency. And it also has an output, so you could charge your cell phone off of this battery if you needed that, or charge anything really. When I went back to the listing for this fan, it was showing a totally different product, so I don't even know what happened there. So I will try to link to this down in the description. I will try to find the closest thing I can to this because I haven't had a lot of time to play with it, but it seems to be pretty cool, and it got some good reviews. It also came with a little string backpack that you can use to carry it around if you want. We have several fans that are battery powered, but we don't have any that are rechargeable and solar. So this is something new that I'm pretty excited about. Fans can be pretty important in a power outage during the summer, during the hot weather, because you really need to stay cool if you're in a hot climate. And so if you're in hurricane country or anything like that, this might be something to consider. Fans can also be helpful to help distribute the heat from your emergency backup heater or stove or whatever you use, even if it's winter and it's cold. Next, back here I've got a case of my sugar-free spiced cider. This is 12 boxes with 10 packets per box. This is something that is sort of a comfort item for me. You should definitely have whatever types of hot drinks, cocoa, cider that you like to have in your life. I just got another case of this just a couple of weeks or months ago actually, but I have been drinking 1 packet of this every single day, all fall and winter. And so I kind of needed to bump up how much I store of it just because I'm using it more often. You really need to adapt your preps like that. I limit myself to 1 packet a day because even though it's sugar-free, doesn't have the healthiest ingredients. It's not the best for you. So it's kind of my guilty pleasure, but I just grabbed a whole nother case of this because I want to make sure that I have plenty, because this is something that I like to have every day. Next, I've got my Ruby shakes. And these are like little smoothie packs. They are basically just fruits and vegetables. That's it, nothing else. And they're made with freeze-dried fruits and vegetables, which once you freeze dry something, you take all the water out of it. The water space turns to airspace. Then you powder it. That airspace is gone. It shrinks down to very little powder. So you can actually have several servings of various fruits and vegetables in one very small pack. So that's why I love these for emergency preparedness, because during times that you cannot get fresh produce, nutrition can really suffer, but it's really important then. So I like to have ways to easily get fruits, vegetables, and good nutrition into our diet. But we also use these every day just to get extra fruits and vegetables, and it's great for the kids. My kids love smoothies, and I don't always have time to make a whole smoothie with the blender and with frozen fruits and everything we usually put in them. So this is an easy solution where I know they're going to get a few servings of fruits and veggies, and they love them. I love them. Now you might wonder why there's so many yellow compared to the other colors, the red, orange, green, and purple. And that's because this flavor or formula was a new one, and I kept forgetting to add it to my order. So we didn't get any for a while. And I keep several boxes of this ahead. You know, if you're a prepper, you want to make sure you have plenty of the things that you want, need, and use several months ahead at least. So I keep several boxes ahead of this. So when I finally remembered to order this one and add it to my order so we could try it, it became my youngest daughter's favorite. So she drinks a lot of these, and we have proportionally more of all the other flavors because we've been ordering those for a long time. So I had to bump up my order so that we could kind of get more of these, so we had an even amount. Personally, I try to have all the different colors because that's going to give me the most variety of fruits and vegetables, and I would like the kids to do the same, but they all sort of have their favorites, and then I usually end up using whatever nobody else wants to have, which is usually the green one because it's the least sweet, which is fine with me. I won't go into what all fruits and vegetables are in each of these, but I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check out on your own what is in each formula. It's pretty amazing. And this right here is something that I have with those shakes. I think it can be important to have some meal replacement shakes or protein shakes in your preps, because if you are low on protein or something, that's an easy way to get it. Mix them with water or some powdered milk. This is not actually a protein shake. It's actually a keto shake, and so it's got less protein. But this was something I had gotten for myself, thinking that this would be a good sweet treat maybe for my low-carb diet. I didn't really care for it that much by itself because it does have artificial sweeteners in it, and I don't love the flavor of artificial sweeteners, but it does. I mean, the first ingredient on here is cream cheese powder, so it's got real cream cheese, real milk. But what I found is that I really like mixing about a half a scoop of this with my Ruby shake. So the Ruby shakes are not super sweet because they're just fruits and vegetables. There's no added sugars or sweeteners. This one is sweet, but it doesn't have the sweetness I liked. So I found if I mix them together, it makes an amazing tasting. It tastes like dessert smoothie that I really, really, really like. My daughter really likes it. And it's going to add some fat because this is a keto shake. So it has some fats, and fats help our body absorb the vitamins and things that are found in the fruits and vegetables. So I figure it's a win-win. But that's something that I have on an everyday basis, but I would not want to run out of these if we were in an emergency situation, because that's something I'd want to continue to be able to have. Next, I've got these tomato flakes. So these are just dehydrated, dried tomato flakes. I really am looking for something that I can use in my meals in a jar that's going to give that flavor profile of like sun-dried tomatoes, but without the moisture that sun-dried tomatoes usually have. They're either packed in oil or they're kind of moist like a raisin. That type of dehydrated thing does not do well, obviously long-term, in a meal in a jar with dry ingredients. So I picked these up to try. They have lots of other applications, especially in meals in a jar, which many of you know I love meals in a jar. And now this cake mix. Now this kind of popped into my view. I had never seen this before, so I don't know if this is something new or if it just was never on my radar. So tell me if you've ever seen this before. It does not say new. This is a creamy almond Pillsbury cake mix. I love almond flavored sweets. I love almond flavored anything. So when this popped up, I had to get it and try it. And the only way I could get a good price per box was buying a case, which is kind of how we tend to do things around here anyways. This came out to $1.37 a box, which I thought was not bad. for something that I had never seen before. So I'm excited to try this. Now you might think cake mix is not something that's necessarily a prepper pantry item, but I beg to differ, at least in our house. You only need some oil and some eggs and some water to make a cake. And I have lots of oil that I keep on hand, and I have powdered scrambled eggs. So we could make a cake. We do have ways to bake off grid. However, you can also use these cake mixes with just a can of soda. If you mix a cake mix like this with a can of soda, like a lemon lime or cream soda works well in a cake, you don't taste the soda. It makes the cake really well. And we do this off grid all the time. Like when we're camping, we always make some kind of a cake in our Dutch oven with charcoal or campfire coals. And we just dump a can of pie filling on the bottom or a drained can of fruit, large can of fruit. And then we mix the cake mix up with the soda. And then we pour that over top and cook it in the Dutch oven with the charcoal or the campfire coals. And it makes a delicious dessert. We've done all different kinds of combinations. We've done apple pie filling with spice cake. I've done strawberry pie filling with lemon cake. I've done cherry pie filling with chocolate cake. And I think cherry pie filling with this almond cake would be delish. That's a really good combination, cherry and almond. And you never know, this might be the difference between being able to celebrate a special occasion or a birthday if it happens to occur during an emergency situation. So I definitely keep sweets and dessert mixes in our prepper pantry as well. But I'm really excited to try that cake mix. And I don't know if that is something new or where that came from. I've never seen that before. Let me know in the comments if you have. Next, I've got some freeze-dried items. I've got some of the big gallon-sized cans, and I've got quite a few this time of these smaller pantry cans, which are more like a quart size. Freeze-dried food is the best of the best when it comes to filling your prepper pantry for a few reasons, not just your prepper pantry, your pantry in general. Number one is the shelf life. It's going to last without loss of quality, usually 25 years or longer. And then second is nutrition. A lot of people have this mindset that food with a long shelf life is going to be lacking in nutrition. But that's actually a really outdated way of thinking because freeze drying has changed all that. It does not destroy nutrients the way that canning and dehydrating do. And freeze-dried food retains just about 100% of the nutrients in the food without needing any preservatives. There's a huge push nowadays to move away from the unhealthy foods that used to make up people's food storage and prepper pantry, foods that were full of sodium and sugars and chemicals and preservatives. We have so much better options available today. And the third thing that makes freeze-dried food so many people's most wanted item is the quality. Most people like the quality of freeze-dried food much better over canned or dehydrated. So there's good reasons why freeze-drying and freeze-dried foods have become so popular. When I make my monthly orders, I almost always choose from what's on sale, so I get the most bang for my buck. So this time I got 4 of these large family-sized cans, which are gallon cans. This is usually the better deal, per unit price. I got chopped onions, I got banana slices, blueberries, and mushrooms. Now these items are all on sale this month, and then they usually have a pack like this that has 4 of the big cans where you get a bigger discount if you buy it together. And that lets me get like kind of the bulk discount without having to buy a case of a single item. So I can get a little bit more variety every month. The chopped onions is easily one of the most used items in my kitchen because it's just so easy to throw onions into anything. And then of course the bananas is one of my kids' favorite snacks. Lots and lots of nutrition in these foods. Now the smaller packs, I got 2 different variety packs of these smaller cans. So the first one is everything that I've got up here. And this is, let's take that down so we can see everything. So this pack has some of the items that are in the larger pack that I got. So I've got the mushrooms, the onions, and the blueberries. No bananas in this little pack, but I do have sour cream powder. I have got some instant white rice, and then I've got 2 meats, sausage crumbles and pulled pork. Those are some of our favorite meats. They're delicious, and it's really kind of awesome when they've got 2 meats in the pack, because meats is one of the things that everybody wants to get in freeze-dried. So these 2 packs are just packs where they take some of the items that are on sale that month, package them together, give you a little bit bigger discount. Like I said, I usually shop from the larger cans just because I like to get the bulk discount. The smaller cans though can be really handy. A lot of people like to get these if they are smaller families, like just a couple. Even though you do have a year to use these freeze-dried foods up once the can is opened, some people just like to have a smaller can open at a time. I like to have these for different things. Like if we are going camping, for instance, I might bring a can if one of my kids wants something. Usually a pantry can is going to be a good choice for them. I just gave my daughter a can of blueberries like that the other day, and she put some of them in her sourdough bread that she made, and it was delicious. But a lot of people like these smaller cans, like if they go RVing or if they live in an RV. I know a lot of people who actually are full-time RVing. They love this food because it's very light and it does not require refrigeration. And these smaller cans can also be good if you're packing up, say, an evacuation type of kit, a food kit that you would want to take with you and go. So then the other pack that I got was over here. Now this is a little bit of a different pack. Everything I've gotten so far were things that were on sale this month. These are just something new that they just came out with. So here's the items that make up this one pack. So these are something brand new. It's just these chef starter packs. And so what these are is they're themed packs. So they're the smaller cans, and you get a variety of them. So this is actually the one pot starter, I believe. They've got 4 different packs. There's a breakfast pack, a skillet meal pack, and a Southwest meal pack. And so it's all things that you can kind of use together. So these are really great for a lot of people don't really know where to start when they're getting started with freeze-dried food. You know, you want to get it. You know, you want to have it in your pantry. You know, you want to learn how to use it, because we should never store anything that we don't know how to use, but people are just overwhelmed. So this way, this gives people a little bit of a discount on buying a bigger variety of items that all kind of work together. So this one pot pack has like corn, peas, and carrots. And then we've got the chopped onions and diced potatoes. And then I've also got diced chicken and diced beef. So this one is meant for making things like beef stew or chicken and dumplings, meals like that, one pot meals. And so I've got this one, and then I have another one that I'm going to have on the way, which is going to be the skillet meal pack. So I will probably show that to you in another haul, and I will be working on some meal in a jar recipes to use these packs. Actually, that's something else I should mention about these packs, is that when you do order them, they come with like a scan code, and you can go, they take you right to a collection of recipes that use these packs. And so they're going to be adding recipes all the time. So it's really a great way to get comfortable and familiar with using the food. If you are a fan of freeze-dried food recipes, I will put the recipe site down in the box below the video. And also make sure to check out my Meal in a Jar group on Facebook. We've got lots of recipes being shared over there. And if you are looking to learn how to cook with and use freeze-dried foods more, because they are becoming such a big thing, a lot of people are looking for that. I get a ton of questions about that. So if you are looking to learn about that, there is a live cooking show that I participate in once a month, and we did just have it. So it won't be coming up for another few weeks. But if you're interested in that, send me a text with the word show, and I will put you on the list to be notified about the next cooking show when it comes up. It's free. It's fun, and there's even prizes that get given away, so it's really a good time. Now with my freeze-dried foods, I place my order early in the month, so I know I'm going to get what I want before it sells out, because of course everyone wants the sale items, and then there's usually a couple of things with like a bigger discount or something that doesn't go on sale very often. But this month I'm going to be getting ready to place another order really soon, because there's a huge sale starting in just a few days. And I always take advantage of these sales a couple times a year to do a big stock up and just restock. So if you're looking to bulk up the freeze-dried food in your pantry, or you're wanting to get started with it for the first time, this is going to be the perfect time. These big sales are always very popular, especially the first day for those biggest discounts. So to get the best deals, there's 3 things I always recommend. Number 1, create your account on the site now, if you don't already have one, so that you are all ready for that big day. I'll put a link down below. Just follow that link. Look for my name at the top of the screen to make sure you're in the right place, you're on the right site, not an imposter site. Just create a free account. It only needs your name and email address, and then you're all set up for quick access to the sale and access to the best prices as soon as they drop. The second thing I recommend is getting in on my sale alert system by texting me the word alert. to my number that I'm going to put down at the bottom of the screen. And then I'll be keeping an eye on the site. As soon as those prices drop, I'll send you a text that it's on with a direct link for you. That has worked well for so many people. And maybe you're probably asking why I would want to help all of you get the best prices. Won't that hurt my chances of getting them myself? And that brings me to my third tip for getting the best prices. Back several years ago when I was researching all about freeze-dried food and all the benefits and where it all came from and who had the best product and the best practices, I discovered I could also get the best deal by signing up as a consultant for the company. It was easy back then, and it's gotten even easier now, and the benefits have actually gotten even better now because they now give 10% back on every purchase in free food to every consultant, unlimited. So we now get free food every month. And actually, for anyone who signs up right now, that 10% is being doubled to 20% for the next 3 months, which is nuts, especially with the sale going on. That's going to mean a lot of free food for a lot of people. But the other benefit is that we also get to shop these big sales one day early. So we get to beat the rush and pretty much guarantee getting what we want before they open it up to the general public. If that's something that you think you might be interested in taking advantage of, I will have a link below, or you can text me with any questions that you have, or text Earn if you just want a little more info. But out of everything I have up here today, this stuff right here is what's going to stand the test of time and give my family the most benefits. And I actually just got word of even more ways that you can save with this sale. So you're going to want to make sure to hit me up on that text number so I can get you the best deals possible. And then next down here, I was so excited about this. This is Campbell's Cream of Bacon Soup. This is another thing that just popped up on my radar. I have no idea where this has been all my life, unless it's something new. But once again, it doesn't say new. I had never seen cream of bacon soup, and I am a bacon girl. I think everything is better with bacon. Love bacon. So I saw that, and I was really, really excited. And once again, I got the best price buying it by the case. And I know I'll find ways to use it. I have a lot of recipes that call for Campbell's cream soups as an ingredient. I think it's the 50s housewife hidden deep inside my soul. The first thing my mom ever taught me to cook was tuna casserole using a can of cream of mushroom soup. So it's just near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to be excited to try this and see how it is and find some uses for it, find some recipes that it can go into. I had a lot of friends in my Meal in a Jar group. I posted this over there, and I got a lot of ideas about things you could do with it or things that people have done with it. So I'm really excited. Next, I've got some other things. These are a couple of sauces. I was actually looking for like a chicken piccata shelf-stable sauce ready to go, and I didn't really find exactly what I was looking for, but this popped up, this tangy lemon caper sauce. It's actually meant for seafood, so we shall see what it tastes like and how it is. I do like seafood, so I could eat it that way. I'm just going to see how it is. I feel like sauces and seasonings are so important to have in our pantries and in our prepper pantry, because if you're talking about trying to make meals out of meats and vegetables and pastas and rice and things, sauces and seasonings are what's going to really make that a true cohesive meal. So this was one I wanted to try. Then I found this pickle flavored ketchup. I had actually seen this a while ago and I wanted to try it and I forgot about it. Then I found it on clearance. So I guess I'll be trying that. This could be good for lots of different things. Love pickle anything. And speaking of pickle, I found this salt-free, dilly-licious, tangy pickle blend seasoning. This looked really good. I had to grab this and try it. It says it's good on a lot of these things: wings, chicken, pork, potatoes. Really excited to try this. Then up here I've got a tandoori seasoning, which is an Indian seasoning. I was looking at some new recipes to try and it called for this seasoning, so I grabbed a container of this. I think this will be a good one to have on hand. And then this, we love Kinder's Everything. We usually get their seasonings, a lot of their seasonings. This was a dipping sauce, a garlic butter dipping sauce that I think Mr. Wicked Prepared will really like. So we will try it out and see. Now here's something, it is new because it says new on the package, because sometimes I don't know, is this new or is it just something I've never seen before? So this is one of the shredded potatoes, but you know, the dehydrated shredded potatoes, but this has bacon cheddar flavor. So these are actually meant to be microwaved, but I think that they would do pretty well with just boiling water poured on and let them sit. I'll have to try them that way to make sure that they would be appropriate for prepper pantry cooking. But otherwise, you could definitely, if you can cook them in the microwave, you can definitely put them into a small pot and cook them that way. I just thought that would be a neat little side dish or type of thing to have on hand. Over here, this is Better Goods. This is the new Walmart kind of fancy store brand that they have. And this is an Italian tuna pasta bowl. So this is like a small, you can see it's about the size of a regular tuna can, maybe a little bit bigger, but it has a whole pasta salad in there with tuna. So this is like a complete meal, a small meal or a snack, but it is a complete meal and it's shelf stable. So this is something that's good to have on hand. This is something you could open right up and eat without having to heat it or cook it. It's always important to have things like that in your prepper pantry. And then this Better Than gravy. So we all know Better Than bouillon. That's good stuff. I don't know, once again, oh, this is new. It says new. So this popped up somewhere. It was in my Ibotta app, actually. And there was a rebate for this, a decent size rebate. So I looked up how much it was at Walmart. The rebate let me try it for a decent price. So I think it's going to be really good. So I wanted to try it. I think it's always good to have some pre-made gravies on hand in the pantry. Once again, this can help make a meal pretty easily with some canned meat, some veggies, and some pasta, noodles, or rice, or potato. You can have a really quick meal, and that's good for emergencies or just nights that you need a quick dinner. Back here at the back, before we move on, I do have, there's 2 boxes, so there's 4 gallons of this just plain distilled white vinegar from Sam's Club. That's where I get the best price on this. I feel like in your prepper pantry or just your home in general, you can never have too much of this white vinegar, especially for prepping, because it is it's good for preserving food. If you're going to be pickling or making relishes and preserving food, you're going to go through a lot of vinegar. Make sure it is a 5% acidity for that, which this is. I know because I buy this a lot. I don't see where it is listed, but there, it's right there. But food preservation, and then of course cooking a little bit, but it's also great for cleaning. It can be used in a lot of different cleaning formulas, making your own cleaner, cleaning, and laundry. So this is something that we go through a lot of, and I definitely wouldn't want to run out if it was an emergency situation because it has so many uses. And then I've got some linguine pasta here. There's 10 boxes because it let me buy it in a pack of 5 instead of a pack of 6, which I thought was odd, but so I bought 2 packs of 5. So this is whole wheat linguine. Now, pasta is one of my most favorite items to have in my prepper pantry and just in my pantry in general. We keep so much pasta and noodles. My family likes it. It keeps for pretty much forever. I've never had issues. Depending on where you live, you might have to protect it from like pantry bugs, but I haven't had issues. It stays good just about forever. It's easy and simple to cook. Most people like it. It's inexpensive. I have so much pasta that it always shocks me when there's a shape of pasta I don't have. And I needed linguine the other day and I couldn't find a single shred of linguine among all of my hundreds of pounds of pasta. So I decided I needed to stock up on that. I had fettuccine, I had spaghetti, I did not have linguine that I could find. And my pasta's pretty well organized. So I do buy whole grains pastas when I can find them. And I was surprised to find this linguine in whole wheat. Or I will sometimes buy the protein plus pastas and things like that. If there's more than one that I think is healthier, I will buy them all and mix them together. But I only saw the whole wheat in the linguine. So I got 10 boxes of that. And then I've got some canned items over here. So this Southwest corn is a great value. And I was kind of excited to find this because there's a Southwest corn that, it must be Del Monte that makes it. And I use it in certain recipes. I really like it in certain recipes. If you have seen some of my meal in a bag videos, you've probably seen me use that. It's expensive. It's at least $2 a can or maybe slightly over or slightly under because it's Del Monte or whatever brand and it's a specialty. So finding a generic, I was really excited. So I'm going to try this. I'm sure it will be good. I've got 6, I think I got 6 cans of it to start with to try. I have a lot of the name brand, but now that I can find this, I'll switch to this if it's just as good. And then I've got some artichoke hearts. So I've got marinated ones and just plain canned ones. This is something that I love and I eat a lot of. I use them a lot in some of my favorite meals and foods. Use artichoke hearts, both of these kinds. So, you're going to stock up on what you like to use and what you like to eat. So I buy what we use a lot of and I buy what I can get a good deal on at the time. So these I bought a deal. So I bought it as a rebate app. I mentioned it earlier with the Better Than Gravy. So if you don't have that app, check it out down in the description box. It gives you rebates back on what you buy. These Reese artichoke hearts have been on there, and with the rebate, it makes them cheaper than the generic brand. And these, I usually buy the marinated ones at BJ's at the Warehouse Club in a big jar. These end up cheaper per ounce with the rebate than buying the big jar at the Warehouse Club. So I was pretty excited about those deals. So I decided to stock up on a whole bunch, and I will probably get a whole bunch more because that deal is still on the app, I think. And next, this was something that I don't even know how I found this, but I thought this was just cool. We have a lot of tea that we store because tea stores a long time. It is important to have beverages like that, coffee, tea, cocoa, in your prepper pantry. This is the butterfly pea flower, which is a brilliant blue flower that you can use for tea or food coloring, natural food coloring. This is something that we were looking at buying seeds to grow so that we would have it. And I don't remember if we bought the seeds or not, but I wanted to buy a box of this tea and try it. It says it's vanilla midnight flavor. So it has a vanilla and cinnamon flavor. So we'll see how it is. Next, I've got mostly a whole bunch of noodles. Now, like I said, my family is a noodle and pasta loving family. That's what we eat a lot of. And so store what you eat what you store. So these couple things are for a new noodle recipe that I was going to try, but I don't have this ingredient. This is a new ingredient to me. It's a sweet soy sauce. So I picked one and got a couple of bottles. This will be, I believe, good and shelf stable. I don't refrigerate my soy sauce or my any of my condiments like that, my Asian condiments. So, and then for noodles, like these packs here, these kame, I'm not sure how you say that, but these are cooked noodles, but they are shelf stable. So they're not going to be shelf stable for years and years and years like the dry pasta, but they are shelf stable for several years. The date on them is the end of this year. So it's got about a year shelf life, but we know things last longer than that. And I have had these types of noodles in my pantry for longer than that. So there's several different types: Thai ribbon, stir fry noodles, and udon noodles are the ones that I got. They might have more. This makes a really good, quick and easy meal because they are already cooked. So in an emergency, it would be great because you don't have to cook them. You just have to warm them up or stir fry them with some sauce. And like I said, you could use meats and vegetables from your prepper pantry, use some sauce from a bottle, and you would have a really quick meal. Now I've got several more noodles back there. I'm just going to grab to bring out and show real quick. All right, so I've got lots of different noodles here. Like, we are a noodle loving family. We love this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different ramen style of noodles here. So this one, let's see, this one right here is just kind of like a regular ramen, the unhealthy ramen. This is a chicken and mushroom flavor. Now that used to be my favorite flavor of, you know, the regular ramen you could get at the grocery store, and then they haven't had it in a long time. So I bought this a while ago to see if it had the same flavor that I loved, and it pretty much did. So I buy these occasionally just to have. They're more expensive than the cheap ramen, but I like the chicken mushroom flavor, and I can actually take the packets of flavor and use it in my low carb ramen, and then the kids can use these noodles with some other type of seasoning, or I can use them in a recipe. And this is another one that's just kind of like a typical regular type of ramen. It's a little bit different flavored, and it has a little seaweed sprinkle packet. I have loved this one since my college days, so I have a fondness for this one. I don't eat this stuff often, but I like to have it on hand. The other noodles, these are all different Japanese noodles, or like I said, I was looking at some new noodle recipes. That's why I got that sauce, and I was looking at different noodles that might work. We've also been making our own ramen cups, our healthier ramen cups, by putting some ramen noodles in the mason jar and putting some freeze-dried meats and vegetables and some bouillon and all those kinds of things in the jar, and making our own homemade ramen cups. So I wanted to get a variety of things to try for that. This is just a regular pack of ramen. This is one of the cheap ramens that you can get at the grocery store that a lot of people stock up on. I mean, I stock up on these too. My kids like ramen noodles. I mean, they're teenagers. But ramen noodles aren't necessarily a great choice for the prepper pantry. They're a good short-term prep, but they don't actually store as long as a lot of other foods because they've got a lot of oils in them. So like The linguine pasta doesn't really have any oil, so that's part of the reason that stores so long. And these go rancid. I've definitely had them go rancid in my pantry. So if you look at the ingredients, it basically lists the flour and all of the things, vitamins that it's enriched with, and then vegetable oil. So vegetable oil is the second ingredient. And you can see that it has quite a bit of fat in the noodles from that oil, and that's why it goes rancid so quickly. Some of these other noodles, I'm not going to say that they're any much healthier than the regular ramen, but if you look at the ingredients, they don't have the oil. This is just, in the noodles, it's flour, water, and salt. So without that oil, they're going to not go bad as quickly. Same with these ramen noodles. These have flour, water, salt, and a couple of mineral-y type of preservatives. So that's just something to think about when you are if you put ramen in your prepper pantry. Maybe you don't. Like I said, we like ramen. For me, it's kind of a comfort food that I turn to when I need something comforting and quick and easy. Sometimes, rarely, but I do like it. I have to force myself not to eat it. So that's just something to consider when you're looking at storing noodles like this. And then the last couple things that I had over here in this haul were a couple of just supplements. It's definitely important to have nutritional supplements, vitamins, things that you take, have them in advanced supply and have plenty on hand. Don't go totally nuts buying them because you don't want to have them lose a lot of their potency. But even vitamins that had lost some potency would be better than nothing in the case of emergency when you really need the nutrition. So this is a vitamin C that is gentler and easier because it has like extended release, I guess you would call it. And so this is something that we take a lot, especially if we feel like we might be getting sick or something. So we always like to have extra of these. Magnesium, this is really good for your heart. It's good for helping you sleep. It's good for regularity, things like that. So this is one that I take every night before bed. So I like to have quite a bit of this on hand as well. This is just a couple of the things that we keep in our home and take. And this is just what I happen to grab this week. The final item in this haul is one I'm very excited about, but it's too big to fit up here on the counter. I have a first in, first out rotating can organizer that I have had for many, many years. It's been over 10 years, I'm sure. And we've been looking to add a few more racks like this to our food storage area as we kind of redo that space. They've been out of stock for quite a while because they were completely redesigning the units, and they finally finished and launched the redesigned units. And I was so excited to try them that I had to order one of each to try out. So I got my handyman, otherwise known as Mr. Wicked Prepared, to put them together for me right away. There are two different ones and they can work together. They're modular and they're also mix and match. So you can add as you go and kind of get a unit that works for your needs. They're designed to stack together up to 3 units high. One of them is sized for grocery store cans, anything from tuna cans to soup cans to veggie cans. And the other one is sized for my number 10 and pantry cans of freeze-dried foods. I love these racks because it makes it easy to rotate my canned goods. No more hauling everything off the shelf to put the new cans at the back. I just put the new cans in at the top and they roll down to their spot. Easy peasy. The only negative thing about this purchase is right after I bought these, I just found out that they are also going to be on sale in the big sale coming up this week. Don't you hate it when that happens? But it's okay because I do want to get some more of these, so I guess that'll be the time to do it. Spring is a good time to build your stockpile, as well as check and rotate things that might need to be rotated. Check your bug out bags, your vehicle emergency kits, your 72-hour kits, emergency meal kits, anywhere you might have items that need to be rotated out and replaced more frequently. Things like shorter shelf life foods, batteries, medications, things like this are all things that should be checked and evaluated once or twice a year. Move these things into your regular rotation and replace them with new items in your kits if needed. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you need these items and you find that your food has gone rancid or your batteries are drained or corroded. Not only is that not going to help your survival, but it's wasteful as well. And right now, none of us can afford to be wasteful. There's some really great sales and discounts that happen at this time of year, and many people are getting or have gotten tax returns, which sets the perfect scene. We just need to think smart with that money. Building a well thought out food storage isn't just for emergencies, it's also an investment for retirement and financial downfalls. A solid, usable, high quality food supply and an emergency cash fund are some of the most basic things that we should all work on building if we're able to. Don't forget to sign up for my text alert system to get in on some of the best deals of the year coming up real soon. And for even more prepping deals, join our Prepping Deals and Steals group on Facebook. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a flower emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for more prepping tips. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.